First and foremost, man, shit, we want to welcome you to All About the Hustle. It's an honor and a privilege to have you on, bro, for real.
I appreciate it, dog. What's up?
Did you realize you wanted to be a comedian?
Probably once I realized I wasn't gonna make it as a boxer or a rapper.
As a rapper? At a young age, right? It was like 14?
Yeah.
So like, how was it getting booked for shows like that and stuff like that?
My mother was taking me to a lot of the local gigs in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, all throughout, Bronx, Brooklyn. So yeah, my mother was the key to me getting on stage.
That's dope. That's fire.
Who's the dude that's joining us looking like Malcolm X Killer who don't smile?
So like my, so,
Well,
that's my co-host right there.
Oh, what's up, dog?
What's going on, man? How you doing, bro?
Hey, brother.
I said looking like Malcolm X Killer. He snap.
Waiting for my time to talk. That's all, man. How you doing, though?
I'm good, man.
All right. Like he said, man, it's an honor to have you on here, bro. Man. Salute to you.
Legendary, man. So you a legend, bro.
Fact.
I appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, so what were some of your early influences that made you want to do stand-up comedy and jump in that field?
Of course, I was born in '75, so, the '70s wasn't really my era. That was my pop's era, but it was my introduction into Richard Pryor. But of course, being an '80s baby, Eddie Murphy was the guy, my biggest influence. But then, as a student of the game, doing my homework on comedy, you got to tip your hat to all the people that really started and blazed the trail. Mantan Moreland, Stephen Fetchit, Mom Bailey, Red Fox. So, just once Eddie Murphy was my main driving force. But again, being a student of the game, you got to know what comes before that, and of course during that.
Okay. So like being funny, that was just like naturally, like just natural for you.
I always wanted to be in entertainment, some form of entertainment, because that's just something I gravitated towards. But again, my father was a big boxing guy, so I watched a lot of Muhammad Ali's fights and shit, and I just love boxing. So I thought I was going to do that, but quickly realized I didn't have the discipline for it. And then I was a fan of rap coming up again in a time where rap was born in the '80s, and so I kind of gravitated towards that. But that's just a skill set I don't really have. But comedy's always been something that's been ingrained in me.
Well, that's what's up.
So how did the impression start, man? Because you do a damn good job at them joints, man, for real. Having me crying. What's your favorite one? A two-part question.
Got you. Well, again, Eddie Murphy's Saturday Night Live was appointment TV for me and my pops. That's something we did together that was kind of like a bond for us on Saturday nights. And just Eddie's ability to mimic, whether it's James Brown, Bill Cosby, Stevie Wonder. And then, being a fan of movies and TV, I embraced everything movies and television. So long story short, it's just something that I had an ability to do at a very young age. And, my mother's a jazz and blues singer. So I think a little bit of that in terms of tonality, pitch, and certain aspects of that I got from her as well. So between my love for it, my God-given ability, and my mother's hereditary gifts, it just all came together like that.
And what was your favorite one?
My favorite. It always tends to be something that's new because it's like a new discovery. It's like a new toy. But I really enjoy doing Tony Soprano.
Tony Soprano? Yeah, you go crazy now. And so your Denzel joint crazy too. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, but you know what? My Denzel ain't really Denzel no more. When you know about my man who I always promote I think out of the Bronx. He's either from the Bronx or Brooklyn. My man C. King. This dude not really known as much as like a Godfrey or me or Dean Edwards or even my man Reggie Reg out of Chicago. Like we all do Denzel, but
the bull from Wild 'N Out.
Yeah, that nigga bodies Denzel, man.
Oh, he's nice, yeah.
Like he's so good at it that I feel embarrassed to even do it.
He had him and Jay Ferris was going back and forth on a while and out. That joint was dope.
Yeah, no, C King is, as far as I'm concerned, he's the master.
Yeah, I like how like this is off topic real quick, but I like how when your podcast, you and
Andy Steinberg.
yeah, but you and
Oh,
Godfrey,
okay.
how like y'all was going back and forth doing like Paul Mooney and like somebody like that joint was dope too, because that showed like y'all talent is like on a whole nother level for real. Like
Yeah, and ironically enough, we two of the dudes who are the most underutilized and underrated cats in the game, man.
big time, big time.
Yeah.
Yo, I was about to say, is he froze
No,
or it was looking too
I'm
sick?
waiting. No, I'm waiting on y'all.
Now I'm talking about him.
Oh, your man. Oh,
Yeah, like he was just staring, like I ain't seeing him blinking or nothing. I was looking like, is he freezing or? Yeah, that's dope though. Yeah, should definitely be tapped into the podcast though too, bro.
yeah, yeah.
All right, I'm back in here. My fault,
Uh,
y'all.
you might froze.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I'm back. But you was asking a question, bro.
Not good.
So, what was one of your first shows you ever did in the tri-state?
Oh man, I,
You
I
remember
can't
that?
I
Like,
can't
you got
remember the
that?
I can't remember the first one because that goes back so far. I mean, I've been doing this for 33 years, so but a lot of the areas that I frequented was like Club 88 in East Orange, New Jersey, the Peppermint Lounge in I want to say Newark. Uh,
North?
so yeah, I came up with Bill Bellamy, cats like that. So yeah, we a lot of them Jersey spots.
You remember your like your biggest reaction, like your first time up there, like did that moment stick with you, or
Yeah, they all they all stick with me because I really do love it, and when it loves you back, it's a hell of a love affair. You know what I mean? It's like Jay-Z and Beyonce. You know what I mean? It's an incredible feeling. You would think that after 33 years, you would never get nervous, or you would never, it would never still give you those butterflies. But it still does that for me because the energy and the rush of that back and forth between the audience and them laughs and them cheers.
yeah,
It's bananas, man.
I believe it. Word.
no, facts.
And now, man, shit for you it's different because I like how like real you are. Like you're honest. When like you on stage, and your freestyle ability on stage. Because I see you just pick out two random fans and go crazy. Had the building shaking just off of freestyle alone. Like, you know what I mean? That shows how dope you are for real, man.
I mean, it's. I think there's certain similarities, between stand up and rap, hip hop. Yeah, it's a different art form, but certain things in terms of technique, I think are similar. It's like you could look at a rapper like Jadakiss, who's a beast, obviously pen to paper, but if he had to go on that freestyle, it is just as potent. So a
Right.
lot of the people that I look up to, idolize, are people with potency. I love power and potency, whether it's Mike Tyson in his prime, Jadakiss, Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
I like that explosiveness.
It's dope. It's dope. So I want to talk a little bit about the Mad TV skit with DMX, man. I think that shit was legendary. How he was acting like his grandma, I think, and just like how was it on set with him and like working with him? Because like when I was watching it, he had his head down. I thought he was cracking up laughing while like he was doing it. It looked like he was like I'm trying to hide the laugh real quick, just because
Nah, that was just X. That was
okay,
X.
rest in peace to
No,
her.
he's a cool dude. He was awesome guy, man. You know, uh, real humble, real down to earth, but he's X. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He got that. He
word.
got that. It's synonymous. Him and the pit bulls, man, because he got that energy.
Nah, for real. And that was dope, man. You did a good job. Shit sounded you sounded more like him than like he did for real. Cause I was watching, I'm like, yo, this
Yeah,
shit
that sounds
crazy. He
crazy,
really
but
sound.
for
I'm
real.
like, yo,
Yeah,
yo, word up.
yeah, your
I, I
impersonation is
I
crazy.
enjoyed that. That was one of my I gotta say one of my proudest moments on
Yeah,
Mad
that was
TV, man.
legendary.
Because it was a great, well written skit, but it was him. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the first time I met him. The song had just dropped, "Money, Power, Respect,"
Okay.
uh,
Right.
and his verse was so explosive on that. And I remember thinking, besides the verse, what stood out was the voice, the gravel voice. So when you
Mm.
put that voice with the bars and the beat and the melody, it just came at you hard. And I remember I didn't know what he looked like, but I knew the song. And I was at a club in downtown LA, and he jumped on stage and did his verse. And so now I could put a face with the voice. And I was like, yo, that's the nigga right there. So when I got on stage, I was like, yo, man, I just want to tell you, this shit is fire, nothing but love, respect. And he was like, hey, yo, Doug, I appreciate that. Now, hey, nigga, give me a drink. Give me a drink.
Yeah.
So he was like, he ordered me to get him a drink. Like, so I'm done, my nigga. Give me a drink. And he'll growl in the middle of me talking. I was like, oh, this nigga is official, man.
Yeah, word.
Yo, that's a piece of act, man.
Yeah.
That's
Yo, so
dope.
what was one of the celebrities that shocked you that knew who you was in the beginning, like, and you didn't know they knew, I mean, who you were, like,
Uh, that's happened quite a few times.
a few times?
Will Ferrell, I bumped into
Mm.
him at a car wash. I went up to compliment him, and he showed me so much love and was like, man, we know who you are, and blah. One of my man, the black dude who just recently passed from Law and Order. Uh,
Okay.
a lot of sports figures too. You know what I mean? Because like again, when you're not famous, you become famous. It doesn't sink in that you're famous until
Right.
other people acknowledge it. But you know who everybody else is. So it's
Okay.
weird when they know who you are. You don't expect it. I would never walk up to somebody famous expecting them to know me. But when they know me, it's like, oh shit, word.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling is
Yeah,
good, man. I mean, you work
where
with that
shit
work.
Will Ferrell, that shit dope.
Work thorough?
And
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I remember I did a show in Dallas at the Improv, and the club manager was like, "Yo, my man, what's my name? My man, we used to be the quarterback, white dude, uh,
you
not
said
Troy Aikman,
for
the
who?
guy after him,
You said for what team? I didn't
for
hear you.
Dallas Cowboys,
You said not Troy Aikman?
not Troy Aikman, and the guy that
Oh,
came
Tony
after Tony
Romo.
Romo,
Tony
Tony Romo.
Romo.
Yeah, he was like,
Right.
"Yo, Tony Romo's coming to your show." I was like, "Word." He was like, "Yeah, he's a big fan of yours." So again, that it just
Mm,
you don't expect that, man.
that's fire. Hell yeah. So I just want to tell you like a little bit on how like I got to like know who you was, bro. So back in the day, so we had like a little household movie for like the family and shit. It was The Pest. So like my whole family, we always used to watch that joint all the time. That joint was a classic. But then that shit made me go back and like watch all your work though. So like that's how I got introduced to you. But like, how was it working with John and just doing that movie? Because that movie is still like a classic to this day. It'll never die. Like, shit, I could
Right.
pop that shit on right now.
Right. John. John is an awesome dude, man. Just he's from New York. Got that New York energy. Uh, Hispanic. You know what I mean? So we just kind of vibed immediately. From it's almost like from the projects to the bodega. You know what I mean? Just
Seemed like y'all had a great chemistry. Like if like y'all knew each other or something. Like that
yeah.
shit was.
Well, it's easy to have good chemistry when people open up and invite you in. You know what I mean? And they ain't got no egos and shit like that. My biggest regret is we never did a Pest 2. But I
Yo,
think
word. I was
Pest
about
was
to
like
ask you that too.
what's that word? Like I'm trying to think of that word. Like a cult classic. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it didn't do theatrically. We'd have hoped it would have done. If it did, we would have had a sequel. But it
Right.
was like an underground cult classic.
Nah, for real, bro. That's when I knew you could do like the voices. That's when I first got tapped in, 'cause I think you did Beavis and Butthead when you was in the
Yeah,
whip.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, yo, so I was a kid too, but then I was like, yo, he sound just like him. I was like I was excited. I'm like, yo, he really did.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Now where, so like I told my mom that I was doing this interview, and then like the first thing she said, who from the past?
Funny.
From the
Yeah, cause
back.
that's how like she's like an older Spanish woman, so
Right.
like so yeah, that's how she remembers you, and she was excited. She was like, wow, that's dope. But like we always watched that movie though. That shit was like a household movie for us. So you know what I
Mhm.
mean, that joint was a classic,
Appreciate it.
um, no doubt.
So what about the spinoff of the Cosby Show? How that come
The
about?
spinoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't you do
Did you
like a
do a
spinoff
spinoff?
of the Cosby Show?
What
It
was
was
the
like a
name?
different name. Nah.
Nah.
I thought it
So I gotta
was.
go back to see what the name was. Damn, I could have sworn. Not because I wrote that one down too, so I could have
I don't want
sworn.
to sound like a Wikipedia fact.
That's a Wikipedia,
Yeah,
right? What
probably. I
did-
don't know. It said something about you doing like a spinoff to the Cosby Show, so like I just wanted to like know about
Yeah.
it because I didn't see it.
No, no,
Like I never seen it.
that stuff is
So
familiar to me.
okay. Um, and if I wanted to talk a little bit about the All Star Comedy Jam back in 2009, like what was the feeling like being around like
all the
greats,
stuff.
just like all y'all be.
It was the first one, so I don't think anybody had any idea the magnitude of how big that first one was going to be. Uh, and depending on who you talk to, most people tell you that it's still to this day unrivaled. Because I mean, you look at that lineup: myself, Kevin Hart, D. Ray Davis, Tommy Davidson, and Cedric. Hosted. I mean, as far as the host goes, I don't think anybody was as big as Cedric at that time, especially for the splash he was making all throughout television. And then Tommy Davidson being a veteran of the game
Yeah.
and a beast comedically explosive on stage. What he did in terms of his versatility with the Spanish material, speaking in Spanish, playing to the Spanish crowd. D. Ray's always been a beast,
Yeah, right.
such a street comic. And then of course Kevin, the Marvel superhero that he's turned out to be. And then you throw myself in that mix. It was just dynamite, man.
Oh, word.
What's some of your
I love
favorite?
that one.
Say again.
What's some of your favorite stand-up comedies? Like you like personally watch? Maybe you might pull up.
Anything by Dave Chappelle, who I
Dave
think
Chappelle.
Dave is this generation's Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
You know,
In fact,
the
yeah.
absolute genius. The way his mind works, his flow. I often said that. He's like if Dave in terms of his comedy was music, he's like Miles Davis, man. He's like a
Okay.
smooth jazz motherfucker. The way he flows,
Mm,
the way he takes time, his rhythm, it's very reminiscent to me of like a Miles Davis.
okay.
Uh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
wasn't
this is a
expecting
good question right here too. Stephanie Hagan, has social
that.
media massively improved your success? So like, what's the difference between now you think, like having social media and like you being you back then?
Social media can help and hurt you.
Right.
Uh, if used, it's like a gun. If used properly and respectfully, it could be your greatest weapon.
Mm,
If you mishandle it and you foolish, you can shoot yourself in the
that
face.
part.
And I got a
Right.
couple of shots in the face.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah,
let's
that
talk about the
was
podcast a little bit, man. How to get started?
Oh, yeah, the guy who's my podcast partner, Andy Steinberg, way back when, maybe about 5 years ago, I just was at a club and he happened to be the guy that was there that was to open it for me. So he opened for me once, and then afterwards we kind of ran into each other again. And then about a third time, he was like, "Yo, man, if you need an opener, I'm out on the road with you." So I was like, let's do it. And and probably about almost a year of being on the road, he kicked the idea down to me that we should do a podcast, and he could bring the equipment, and we do it on the road, and the rest is kind of history.
Word. And like y'all got a good chemistry on there too. I think that's dope what you're doing. I'm definitely tapped in. I'm loving the episodes. I still got like a lot to finish because I caught on late, but
Yeah.
I'm definitely catching on. Shit, can you shout it out real quick though?
Yeah, it's called Spears and Steinberg. It's available on all streaming platforms. If you go to YouTube, subscribe to our up there under Spearsburg Pod. But we didn't get on YouTube till probably a couple years late. So all the episodes aren't on YouTube. They're on. If you want to listen from episode 1 to current, you gotta get it through all the streaming platforms. You know, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, iHeart. And you know, he's against me saying this, but I always tell people, listen from the beginning and go in order. I mean, we just did episode 504. So I know it may take people a minute, but binge it because it's well worth it. Because for me, comedically, if you go in chronological order, you get a chance to see the birth of certain characters I do. Certain, callbacks will make sense to you. And things like that, where if you listen from now, there's certain things you're going to miss. You won't understand certain characters, certain feet, like certain callbacks will go over your head because you don't know the origin. So I'm a big fan of starting from the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah. So I gotta go back and start from the beginning now.
No facts.
What's up?
So what you got coming up? Do you have like any merch out, anything like that? Any upcoming show?
We sell t-shirts and stuff on from the podcast on through the podcast on YouTube. Click all the little buttons and whatnot. But right now I'm just booked for the rest of the year touring. I got to finish out the year. I sell merch at the shows, do the meet and greets and all that. So yeah, man, I'm hustling to the 2024.
Where it's dope, man. So I love your hustle too, man, because you working right now. I seen like your little list of like where you going and stuff, bro. You definitely working, bro. I salute you to that.
I got 2 baby mothers, man. So I can't take a day off. I got one hand in each pocket. It's like the government, nigga. I mean, they taking their tax.
I dig it.
Right.
I definitely dig it.
Yeah, you've been active, bro. Like, yeah, you've been real active lately, man. Every time I go to my Instagram, your shit is on there. So that's what's up. Keep working, man.
So you deserve all your flowers, bro. For real, you're a legend, man. We got one part. This is the trivia part, and then we done. But so it's just either or, respectfully, like either or. Cat Williams or Kevin Hart?
Stand-up wise, I'm gonna be honest, and I know a lot of people probably gonna disagree with me, but stand-up wise, between those two, Kevin Hart.
Okay.
And I gotta say, Cat for whatever reason is not he's not as in many movies as he should be, given his ability. But I think I'm a real big fan of Kevin in movies. He knows how to steal a scene.
Okay.
Bernie Mac or Steve Harvey?
Oh, Bernie Mac. Even
Bernie Mac.
Steve is an animal, though.
Right.
Steve's an animal, but Bernie Mac.
Bernie Mac, right? Okay.
All right, Tupac or DMX?
Oh, DMX. DMX. But that's a collab. That's a collab we should have had. Imagine a collab between Pac and X. With that energy, that's like, Ether meets C4.
That would have been crazy.
That would have been nuts, bro. Yeah. Like, everybody would have appreciated that one, man.
Yeah.
Biggie or Jay-Z?
My God.
Got to. Only one.
Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
But that hurts my heart to say that.
Yeah, that's because of the longevity, right?
The longevity. But
right.
Sometimes it's I read on social media where cats be trying to discredit Jay. Like, how do you do that?
Now you
Jay
can't. They
lyrically
don't
is a
know.
monster,
Yeah,
man.
but Biggie's a different. That's not discrediting off of Biggie though, because I feel as Biggie, he dropped one official album and he's considered the top two of all time. So like that alone right there is like a big accomplishment. Like for someone to
Life
say that,
After Death was fire too, though.
Crazy.
yeah, but it was put out kind of after he passed, right?
Uh,
Yeah, 'cause I think
I
he
think
had,
so. I think
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So
yeah.
like while like he was alive though, he had one official album out, his first project, and he was considered the top two, if not number one, because it was always Pac and Biggie, Pac and Biggie. But
Right.
like to just put out one project is like
Right.
insane. But
Yeah.
that's respectfully because I won't be mad at either side because Jay is a legend and like his longevity of like what he's doing now, that kind of overshadows it. But it's like, no, I mean,
Right.
I respect it though. Busta or Lil Wayne?
Oh, Buster.
Busta? He
That's
said
a that's
Busta.
a that's a no contest for me.
Yeah,
Where, where,
that.
Yeah, Lil Wayne, I know he's respected,
Yeah.
but he's never been my cup of tea. And that nigga looked like a gargoyle statue in Manhattan, nigga.
Yeah.
yeah.
No cap. All right, so Nas or M?
Nas.
Nas?
You know,
Okay.
I honestly think the best two rappers in hip hop, and I mean they neck and neck, is Jay-Z and Nas.
Jay-Z and Nas? Okay.
Yeah.
Where,
I ain't
all
mad
right,
at that.
last one. Jay-Z or Snoop Dogg?
Oh, Jay-Z. Man,
Jay-Z?
it's gonna be hard for me to go against anything that's not this cap.
Now I kind of figured that already.
Yeah.
Shit, right when I seen Jay-Z name, I'm like, I said, oh yeah. No, but Snoop, I think Snoop is like the biggest celebrity ever on like Earth. He's done everything. Like there's
Yeah,
nothing Snoop hasn't did.
he's extremely popular. Anytime you get white folks going for shizzle, nizzle, it's you hit the mainstream.
Nah, word.
Yeah.
So man, so it was dope having you on, man. For real, man. It was a dope episode, man. I salute you for even taking time out. For real, man.
No doubt. Anytime y'all want to do it again, man, just put the bat signal in the air. I'll meet you on the roof like Commissioner Gordon.
All right. Yeah, appreciate you. Anything you got coming up, man, just shoot it to us and we promote it.
No
Know what I
doubt.
mean? Support. You already know.
And can you shout out All About the Hustle for you dip out?
Yeah, just say All About the Hustle.
Whatever you want to say.
Yeah, so whatever you want to say, just a sign out.
Yo, it's your boy Aries Spears here, man. Make sure y'all support my. Let me do it again. Yo, what up? It's your boy Aries Spears here. Make sure y'all support my people, man. All About the Hustle, man. They're all about the hustle, getting that bread, getting that guap, showing some love. Hove in the building, nigga. Fucking Chiprano. You gotta support these two fucking guys, even on the niggas. There it is.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
All right,
you, man. All right. Salute, man.
Yep.